then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So mainly the bleeding is from the bladder, urinary bladder.
Okay.
Okay, so the bladder which is there where the urine passes out. So so normally this urogenital system so basically contains bladder and the prostate, and basically it comes like this. This is the urethra, which is a soft structure where it passes the urine goes through this, and then this is the penis, os penis, which is one small bone. So through this basically the urine comes.
Okay.
So the blood is mainly coming from the bladder. Okay, so there is some growth inside the bladder.
Okay.
There is a kind of a tumor inside the bladder. Okay, so that is basically bleeding.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is actually bladder should be clean, just
Okay.
with only urine,
Yeah.
empty.
Yeah.
But in this basically if you see, inside everything there is fluid and basically growth type of substances are there inside.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, from this basically the bleeding is happening. Profuse bleeding is happening.
Yeah.
Okay, that is one problem.
Okay.
Main issue is from this only.
Okay.
So this mostly looks like a tumor, something called transitional cell carcinoma. Okay, TCC looks like this type of tumor looks like.
Okay.
Okay, this is one issue, and mainly whatever is happening is because of this one thing. Second thing, there is an extra mass which is basically like a cystic type of growth. Okay, separately just behind the kidney. So another mass is there which is basically around 7 centimeter mass.
Okay.
Okay, just behind the kidney actually.
Okay.
That is also looking like a growth, but it more looks like an incidental finding. Where when we look for other things, basically this is also is basically gotten in the ultrasound.
Okay.
And third thing, basically there is a testicle which was not descended. He has only one testicle. The other testicle is basically still inside, which is basically swollen in size. Okay, that basically is causing what he is basically having the feminism. You know, like his teats are basically swollen.
Yeah.
Okay, something called a gynecomastia. Okay, where they exhibit female type of signs. Male dog showing female type of signs actually.
Okay.
Okay, where the testicle is converting into a tumor, which is releasing female hormones, which is causing this type of changes in his body.
Okay.
Okay, that is the third problem. So right now, this is a serious problem. The bladder tumor is a serious problem where other lymph nodes also there is swelling. Okay, particularly this back leg lymph nodes are also there is swelling. We don't know whether the tumor has spread to that area also or not. Okay, and there is just raw blood only coming from in the penis actually, from the prepuce, from the bladder it is just oozing only there, not stopping only. We have given sedation so that he calms down and we put a small bandage. Okay, right now the bleeding has stopped. Okay, but he has to be admitted actually minimum for 2 to 3 days to plan actually whether one thing CT scan of his abdomen will be required to check the mass part and the bladder mass actually. Okay, and if required we need to take a biopsy from the urinary bladder mass, because this tumor mass is basically not resectable.
It's not
Resectable, that is cannot be excised. It cannot be removed, this mass. This particular mass is very, very different from the other tumors where generally surgery is not an option for this. Okay, mainly oral chemotherapy.
Oh, okay.
oral chemotherapy, but we need to confirm with a biopsy.
I see.
Yeah, so for that he has to be admitted for at least 24-48 hours to stop the bleeding, to get him better, to get him evaluated completely.
Okay.
Okay, so since he has lost, even though he has lost lot of blood, his hemoglobin platelets are fine.
Okay.
Why? Because it is not a systemic problem. It has not created systemic problem. It is a localized problem, which is in the bladder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there are prostatic cysts are there, which is an additional finding, but that again is one of the incidental finding, not causing any issue. Mainly the bleeding is from the bladder.
Okay.
Okay.
So when you do the biopsy,
Yeah.
you'll determine whether or not it is cancerous or
Yes. Or it's a benign one.
benign.
Yeah.
And if it's benign, then
Yeah.
what?
Then we might try to remove it actually.
Okay.
Okay, because it's too much obstructing the bladder.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes polyps also can cause, rarely, bladder polyps.
Mm-hmm.
Also seem like malignant tumors, but we need to do one cystoscopy,
Okay.
where we put the catheter inside this endoscope inside to check the bladder.
Okay.
Okay, cystoscopy, CT scan followed by same time cystoscopy and a biopsy actually.
Okay.
Okay, same time we need to do. Because if it is transitional cell carcinoma, the prognosis can be good, where the chemotherapy can help to reduce these symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have seen patients with so much mass also, still they respond with oral medicines. And it is not something like a serious medication at all. This NSAID painkiller is there, like meloxicam, very common medication which is used for pain, that exhibits good anti-tumor effects against this tumor.
Okay.
Okay, so it's just oral medication you can keep giving long term, but we need to check whether the other tumor
If it's cancerous,
is
you do-
cancerous or
you
not.
do oral medication.
Oral
long-term?
medication, yes.
Really?
Yeah. This particular tumor is very, very different from other masses.
Okay.
Okay. This generally we do not resect. Because if you have to resect, you need to remove the entire bladder.
Right.
And it's not possible practically.
Okay.
Okay. So carcinomas, this particular TCC tumors basically, if it is confirmed with the biopsy, then we need to start oral chemotherapy actually.
Okay.
But the other tumor, we might have to try to remove that other tumor, but if it is not causing any issue as of now, still we can wait and probably plan accordingly, stage it. Okay, probably first, let him first, the bleeding, everything should come down.
Okay.
Okay, so the plan will be CT followed by cystoscopy and a biopsy from this area.
What
This
is the cost of all this?
cost? I'll tell you.
Okay.
Doc, I've explained everything. Okay. So what we'll plan, Doc. So mainly cytology you can take, Doc. Lymph node you can take. Popliteal you can take. Okay. So mainly CT scan, abdomen, CT contrast, that is one part. Cystoscopy, and biopsy, histopathology. Okay, and admission. talk, you can explain these. So CT scan. Sorry.
It's okay.
That CT scan will cost you.
5K.
Yeah. So CT scan anesthesia is 3,500, sir. Okay. And CT scan abdomen 5,000.
Mhm.
That is 8,500. And contrast we might have to give. Okay. To enhance the tumor structures actually. It's an
Okay.
injection to given to fluoresce that area.
Okay.
Okay. So that is 6,000 additional charges. Okay. So around 8 plus 8,500, 14,500 for the CT scan.
Mm-hmm.
And biopsy cystoscopy is 14,000. And biopsy, this probably we can only for biopsy we can reduce it 6,000. And histopathology sample 1,500. Okay. So this procedure, CT scan, cystoscopy, and biopsy and histopathology.
Mhm.
So this alone will cost you approximately 8 to 14, 19, 1, almost 49,000 it will cost you.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
This, if you don't want to do anything with the abdomen mass,
Yeah.
because thing is, if you are doing the CT, that's, we need to plan surgery, but that you can plan later. But to know what it is and how basically, there is a tumor inside, but that is more of incidental finding actually. That if you want to avoid also, it is fine. We can directly go it with the cystoscopy and basically take a sample and wait for it. That will avoid charges for you. Where
That's-
CT scan, you can avoid it. Okay. So 14
So just go directly with the cystoscopy.
cystoscopy, collect sample, wait for the
collect sample
biopsy.
and wait for the biopsy.
Wait for the biopsy. Okay. If you want to avoid removing the abdominal tumor,
Yeah, we need to avoid.
right now we can avoid because we are not going
We
to do
just,
too
I
much.
can't approve all these charges.
Yeah.
You know, his owners and
Okay.
you know, we can't.
Sure. Sure.
I have to talk to him. He's asleep right now.
Okay.
So if we start with the cystoscopy, just to look at the
Yeah.
to get a
Yeah.
biopsy of what's causing
Yes.
the bleeding.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
And and that's 14K.
Yes.
you said?
14 for the cystoscopy. Biopsy taking is 6,000.
Mhm.
And that sample we send it for laboratory, that is 1,500. Okay. So almost 21,500 for this.
Okay.
Okay. And after that admission, because this patient needs to be admitted for minimum 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
Okay. And that will cost you approximately 8 to 10K per day.
Okay.
Okay.
So, right now we're at 10K because
Yeah.
we've got.
Yeah, right now we are, doc, this you can just check doc, lymph node probably if you want to avoid for now. We have collected the urine sample, sir. Okay, that we have sent for sample. Okay. This lymph node enlargement is there, that we need to take a sample whether any spread is there in the lymph node or not.
Yeah, but okay, but that doesn't make, so if you do a test,
Yeah.
right, if you do the the cystoscopy.
Yeah, yeah.
And it comes back benign,
Yeah.
then it hasn't spread.
Yeah, but problem is there
The
is
lymph
this
node
other
is-
tumor is there. If there is a spread from the other tumor, we can check. Okay.
Yeah, but we can do, like right now, the most pertinent thing.
Yes, yes,
is
yes,
the
I
fact
agree.
That he's got,
Yes.
he's bleeding.
I agree. Yeah.
Can
be waited.
So, I mean, it's just a matter of not piling on
Yes.
every test.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right, I mean, if it comes back and he's, I think we need to prioritize the most
Yes,
important
definitely.
thing first, and
Definitely.
then we can determine
100%.
what other things to do.
Yeah.
We just, I can't approve
Understood. Yeah.
a lakh worth of
We'll do
tests.
whatever concentrating on this bleeding part for
Yeah,
now.
because he's, he's not stopping bleeding.
Bleeding, yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
even if you put a bandage on his penis,
Yeah.
he's bleeding in his bladder.
Yes.
And I've seen him leak
Leak blood.
a great deal of blood out of his bladder.
Sure, sir.
Right? So,
I'm okay with that. This, whatever is concerning the bladder and the bleeding, we will
let's
just do
focus
first.
on that
Yeah.
and get that taken care of. So, what will the cost be for?
Doc, this we can wait though for some time. Cytology and this one,
Okay.
but you can decline it. Okay.
Mm.
So now, sir, it comes around CBC, liver, kidneys, some internal bleeding check we have done, checkup, X-ray, abdomen X-ray, sedation we have given,
Yeah, I understand.
BP, Butyrum, urine sample we have taken to check any infection. One thing, because secondarily any infection is there or not,
Yes.
because that also to be treated if it is
Okay.
there. And analysis in that itself will check the cytology, urine cytology.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, to check for the tumor.
Okay.
And one peripheral smear to check any blood related changes is there or not.
Okay.
Okay. Anti-inflammatory, which this anti-inflammatory will work for this tumor if there is any.
Okay.
Okay. Antacid, ultrasound abdomen we have done, and drips we have given.
Okay.
Okay. So this will have costed you 15,000.
So at the moment we're at 15,000.
15,000.
And so in order to do the microscopy and the other, and then keep him for 2 days,
Yeah.
it's going
That-
to be another. You said it was 22,000 for the work, but
Yes.
for 8K a day,
8 to 10K per day.
8 to
20 you
10K,
keep, sir.
20.
20 for 2 days.
So it's going to be another
50
50K.
almost. Yeah, 50. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes, this patient will require continuous monitoring, and some of the medication we might have to start if the blood bleeding is not stopping.
Right.
Maybe if you are giving, if the bleeding is not stopping for anything, then we need to give mild anesthesia to keep him anesthetized.
Yeah, I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I guess we have to do those parts. So, all right. What's the next step?
So for the admission part, I'll just help you out.
Okay.
Okay.